Hey y'all, welcome to my video.
Wait, why is it crooked?
What's happening, guys? Welcome back. Getting some work done. Happy Easter. Let's do this thing. So I apologize if you hear the heater in the background. It's like a fan noise. I know that kind of shows up on this microphone, but I have a lot of time. I'm off of work early. It's actually a Friday right now, and so I got a lot to do. And if I stick to my plan, I think I can get really far this weekend. So the first thing, well, what I'm gonna work on today is I'm gonna be back on the relocation kit. What I actually wanna do is grind off these welds real quick and get some of that primer underneath here. I realized because even if I weld up all this nicely, the TNT logos are here. And this doesn't fit that tight against the frame. So moisture is gonna get in there and it's just gonna sit. So I wanna get something in there. I think I might actually have to patch that because just for that fact alone, I'm not a fan of that. Maybe I can get some black under there as well because, you know, it's just something I didn't think about. I guess you have to paint under here and then just grind away just the edges where you're welding. So something I definitely did not take into account. So I'm gonna get some primer under there. And then maybe, I wish I had some really thin sheet metal or something I could tuck back there. I really didn't even think about how I'm going to seal that up. And I really don't want to fill that all in with weld because that's a lot of weld. Alright, so whatever. I'm just going to get going. I'm going to start by cutting it off. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'm going to do one side at a time. We'll get some stuff done. So I said in one of my previous videos that I really like this kit because it's really inclusive, and this is one of those pieces right here that is just easier to buy in a kit than it is to source yourself. So this is the little Heim joint for one that supports your steering shaft. This right here is an actual piece of steering shaft. I believe they call this double D stock. So like just stuff like that and the length and stuff like that, it's just so much easier. And then here is the actual U-joints for your steering. These actually seem to be really nice quality. I think I did look them up and they seem to be a reputable company. I can't really, Sweet Manufacturing. So these are really nice pieces of hardware. And again, it's just so nice to have this just work together. There's no piecing things together and checking part numbers and all that stuff. No guessing. It's all right here in front of you. It comes with brackets. So you have to cut off your grill support, which is welded to your factory cross member. So it comes with a new one for you. And then I believe this is going to be how you support your Heim joint somehow. I'm pretty sure, or something. I don't know. But again, it comes with all this stuff. It's super nice. No guesswork. Yeah. Quick little tip for you if you're doing steering box work, and especially with a PSC box, a brand new box. It seems like I got a bunch of debris into the threads from when I was grinding the frame rails. So what happened was when I went to tighten it down, I think too much stuff got like jumbled up in there. This lens, like usual, is not really going to focus on that. But you can see I messed up the beginning of the threads, and now it doesn't really want to go in there. So I'm gonna have to go get a new bolt and a tap to clean out those threads. So just something to be aware of if you're doing some custom work like this. Okay, so it seems like just blowing out the threads, and I got some fresh hardware. They all went in there smoothly. So we're back to where we were. Obviously it's not tack welded yet, but that's what I'm going to be working on now. Something I didn't notice, I'm a very detail-oriented person. I'm sure most people have kind of gathered that, but these crush sleeves here, one of them is a smaller size because, well, with this box at least, this mounting point right here, this furthest one back underneath the grill, is closer in on the box itself. So they give you a smaller smaller sleeve, which is a really nice touch, but there's no mention of it at all in the instructions. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it at all in my other videos, but I trimmed up the bottom of the plates so it follows the frame a little bit better. You can probably see it better on this side. That follows the frame a bit better down there. as opposed to this hard angle that it was. So this would have continued straight and then angled up, but it follows the frame line much better now. Looks like we're pretty centered with the cross member, so not bad. I am debating building my own bumper, so I'm not sure if this cross member is going to stay or go, but I need it in there to center everything up for now. So I guess I'm ready to tack weld some of this stuff in place, and that way we can move on to getting the steering shaft all done up, and then we can work on other stuff. So I'm gonna clean some of this crap up so I have a nice clean workspace, get the welder out, and see what we can do. Forgot to mention, I got a new table over here. So, quick story about this table. I was doing a job. This thing was just out back by the garage. This table was there, so I left my number on it. And about a month later, I got a text message saying, just go get it. So that's exactly what I did. She was rusty from sitting outside, and I guess they were trying to make like a little dining room table or coffee table or something. It also looks like someone was trying to cut out the sheet metal or something. But long story short, I got some metal for the legs, got some good practice welding, extended these legs up. I went to 40 inches. This is actually one of my favorite beads right here. Nice and thick. I can go a little bit slower, but that was really good practice for me. But now we have like a legit full steel fab table. No, it's not perfectly square. Oh, I don't care. But it's a whole lot sturdier and a whole lot cooler than this setup that I had going. And what's cool about this is that I could literally have this for the rest of my life. So good find. I'm into it for $100. There's no way you're getting that much steel for $100. And I'm super excited about it. So yeah, back to the steering. So getting back to these U-joints, I'm assembling the little steering shaft that they give you. These are really nice U-joints. They actually have a little set screw, which is this little guy. I don't know if you can see that from all the way over there. And then they have like a locking nut on them, which is super cool. So what I'm doing is I'm taking just the smallest little bit of grease, lubing all this stuff up just for future ease of maintenance. Not that this is ever really gonna have to come off, but just a little something on there for longevity. A little bit on the shaft. I'm gonna put a little bit on the set screw, trying not to get it literally everywhere. One of these U-joints is actually splined to fit onto your steering shaft, so that's a really cool little detail. In with the set screw, a good ooga. Take this. I'm just using my little impact here, hitting it pretty good. It's a pretty cool little, pretty nifty little design. So I forget if I've mentioned in this video, but this kit is like lacking in just so many little detailed areas, like the instructions and all that grinding I had to do on those plates. But something else I just ran into is that the instructions literally say insert heim joint into the supplied support bracket, or something very similar to that. It literally says the word insert. Nothing about cutting or drilling or anything. And this is the bracket that they give you to support the heim, which is great. I don't know how you're supposed to fit a 5/8 heim joint into like a 1/2 inch hole. This is literally what they supply you with. Why just freaking give me the hole? It's like, now I gotta drill this out. And I don't know, it's just, why? It's just stupid. This was a $25 drill bit.
You sure you didn't get a metal shaving in your Heineken?
Now you're freaking me out. What if there is one? That would hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
So where I left off last night was drilling out the support bracket for the heim joint. This is what supports your steering shaft once you shorten it. So my plan was to actually tap this hole just so I have a little bit of added strength and I can just thread the heim through and then use these nuts to lock it in place. I'm not gonna be able to do that because nobody has a tap that big locally. So it is what it is, it's not a big deal. So I'm just gonna continue to go with the burrs until I can slip that heim through. And then we can go over there and start working on the steering shaft. And pretty much once this is in and I have a location to put the heim on the frame, it should be pretty smooth sailing from there. So the last big thing to cut, well, I have a couple more cuts I need to do, but the last thing I need to cut on the steering is going to be the steering shaft, so that way this can get slipped on. So let's go work on that. So over here is that steering shaft that I'm talking about. This is, and as you can see, I mean, you see how much longer that is? The cap is all the way back here. So that is where this shortened shaft comes into play. This end will fit right onto this shaft at, you know, you have all that adjustment, so whatever you want to do there. And then to support it up, because you're going to have a weird angle since the steering box is no longer pointing up at your steering shaft to match that. So you have a good angle. You can support it somewhere along the line with this heim joint right here. So that's what we're going to work on now. I believe I'm going to start cutting it right behind this U-joint here, and then I'm just going to keep trimming it back as deemed necessary. I'm going to put this on there, and then I'm going to go turn the steering wheel, and if I feel any sort of binding, I'm going to keep trimming it and trimming it and trimming it until it feels nice and smooth. So I'm actually really unsure on how to like secure this thing so it doesn't start flopping around on me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and hold it, and then I'm going to use my little hacksaw here. And hopefully this little tiny blade will go through that. It's really not that thick, but like I don't know how else to get in there. Even this doesn't really want to fit. Cool. There she is. That was actually a super clean cut. Odds are I'm gonna have to trim that a little bit longer. So I've probably been sitting here for at least 20 minutes trying to figure out where I want to put the support. And on your instructions, it has it somewhere down in there, which I really do like. Mainly because it hides it out of the way and nobody really knows it's there, because a lot of this is going to be open because of my coilovers. So I think I am going to try and go with something on the back side of the frame down there. Unfortunately, that means I got to pull the axle out of the way so I can get under there. I need to get the paint off the inside of the frame, so I guess that's what we're going to do. All right, there we go. Look at that. So I got the bracket tack welded on under there. This little indent in the frame is super convenient. It's hard to tell. The heim is actually not touching the frame, but it's like super close in there. So I like that a lot. It's nice and smooth. I made sure that when I center the steering wheel inside the cab, that the marks on the PSC box still line up. Obviously they're not straight right now, but those are very nice to keep reference of. If you're not getting a brand new PSC box, I do highly recommend putting your own marks on there so you know where straight is on the output shaft of that. So overall, pretty happy with how everything is fitting. Looks like a pretty nice install to me. I'm going to try and look for a new factory bushing here, or maybe I will make my own similar deal to this. I would like an actual bushing instead of a heim joint, but maybe I can look into replacing that as well. Not a lot to film on this part. I showed you pretty much how to do it. There's just a lot of me screaming and yelling at this thing, so I don't know. If you want to see more of that, I guess let me know. But yeah, it's a very simple, straightforward thing. And I am leaving that bracket tack welded on there. I'm not going to finish weld until I have all this stuff like in here to make sure that that is not going to get in the way at all. So yeah, all the steering is pretty much done, other than a drag link and a physical drag link and a tie rod. But I have this metal cloak stuff up on the wall over here, so I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna have to shorten the drag link, but I'm wondering if I can just collapse everything fully, and maybe by some grace of God it'll just work. But for now, I'm good to go.